sometimes when some people will say Yorubas are the problem of Nigeria, I will disagree. But with this issue of MLK, I don't agree. Need to say actually some Yorubas, they are the problem of Nigeria. Bita Nyanku, he washed his hand come off for Mazi Kanu case. Even Mazi Kanu talk say nobody, no lawyer, no judge go fit judge the case for Nigeria. But it was surprising saying that Yoruba man I pass judgment for MLK. Now Yoruba man I sentence MLK to life imprisonment. Now I really understand say Yorubas no really like Igbo for nothing. So wetin Hausa person no fit do, Yoruba man take am upon himself to pass judgment for MLK. The Fulanis, the terrorists, when they kill people for Nigeria, this man could not pass judgment. You pass judgment for MLK. What did this man don't do when we say another person never do one? What is this man's offense? He's fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves. Give us our nation, let us go. That is what he's asking for. Is it too much to ask? Now na sentence to life imprisonment. Some Yoruba saying, may God help una. Even when these people una state they buy una like chicken, una no fit do them anything. When it come to the case of Igbo, una go bring una chest outside.
All right. Nnamdi Kanu sentence life imprisonment. Well, it is not actually a useless Yoruba judge, neither a useless Yoruba president, but is rather useless Igbo nation, useless Ohanese, useless Igbo people that sentenced Nnamdi Kanu to prison. Let us remember, allegedly, Nnamdi Kanu was offered billions of naira to stop his agitation, but he was the man that stood on the freedom of his people. He turned down the money and said Biafra or he dies. Allegedly, Sunday Igboho was also calling for Biafra, but with 5 billion, allegedly, he abandoned it, and today he's quiet, chilling, enjoying his money. But Nnamdi Kanu chose to liberate his people rather than collecting the money. He was doing very well as a British citizen, but he felt that his people will not continue to be enslaved by Fulani jihadis. For me, as a northerner, I see Nnamdi Kanu as a prophet. There is nothing that Nnamdi Kanu said about this country and Fulani jihadis that has not come to pass. And I still have my allegiance to him as a good citizen of this country and as a prophet that actually foreseen the future. And for the Igbos that have sentenced their freedom fighter to prison, for your politician, this is the beginning of your misery and your problems. You have betrayed an innocent man. For the Igbos, you have betrayed your own blood. You have betrayed your freedom fighter. You have betrayed your liberator. You have betrayed someone that set you on the path of freedom. And let the Igbo, if I be a man of God, let the Igbo knows they will pay with their blood. Paul Gindiri make the same prophecy for Middleburg 30 years ago. We ignore Paul Gindiri. Today, the Middle Belt are paying with their blood. Igbo people, money is your God and business is your God. You betray your brother because of money, politics, and power. You will pay with your blood. As long as, if I be a man of God, and God give us long life, we are going to see that coming to pass. And for the few Igbos that still have brain and sense in their head, this sentence has just put you in the path of liberation. For you to continue struggle. When Nelson Mandela was sent into prison, that was the beginning of the freedom of the South African. And for the few Igbos that still have brain in their heads and are sensible, the Nnamdi Kanu sentence is actually a trigger for your freedom, and even if it will be a civil war, let it be. For those that did not understand, when the useless Yoruba judge was reading the sentence, he was talking on what he said. He didn't mention anything that Mazi Kanu did. A man sentenced to prison without a bullet, without a gun, and yet bandits are killing thousands and thousands of citizens, abducting school children, moving freely with arms and ammunition in the same country. In the same country. School kidnap in Kwara, Nasarawa, and Niger, and Kebbi. Killings in Plateau continuously. And yet a man was sentenced to prison for talking on radio. And you think that we have a country. And for the useless judiciary and useless DSS and the useless federal government, you have just set this country, in the path of destruction. It's just time that will tell. There's a level that you can push the people to the wall, and when they resist, it will be disastrous. And for Fulani jihadists, you may think that you have your way. Time is coming that Nigeria will fight back. And I'm calling on Donald Trump. Please, America, come and liberate the Christians in Nigeria. Let's look at Sunday Johnson. He was sentenced to death by hanging for defending himself against a Fulani jihadist. Deborah was killed in Sokoto for alleged blasphemy. An Igbo man was also slaughtered in Kanu. They put his head on a stick and carry around the city, and nothing happened. A woman was killed in Kubwa. Eunice was killed in Kubwa, nothing happened. A woman was killed in Bauchi, nothing happened. For how long that will continue to fold our arms and our people will be killed? The Christian community is silent. Christian Association of Nigeria is silent. Nobody cares. Today, Yelwata killing, we don't know how many people are in prison or have been sentenced to life imprisonment. I don't think if there's any single arrest yet. Yelwata, over 200 people were killed. Christmas Eve in Jos, over almost 200 people. Dogona Hawa, over 500. Southern Kaduna, in the 8 years of El-Rufai reign of terror, over 3,000 men, women, and children were killed. And yet, if something happened, they will send you to prison in order because you try to do self-defense. America, we need your intervention. America, we need your intervention. And for the foolish Nigerians that has been talking that Americans are coming to take our resources, America did not say that they are coming for Nigerians, they were actually coming for terrorists. And for social media influencers that you are twisting the narrative, the evil that is befalling us in the north will soon reach you wherever you are. For those that think that you are far away from that evil, you are kidding. Ondo bomb blast. It happened as far as Ondo. Nobody is safe in the hand of Fulani jihadists. You people continue to twist your narrative. We will all be the victim of Fulani jihadists, and we will pay with our lives and with our blood.
This video now for Igbo people. Anambra, Ebonyi State, Enugu State, Imo State. You guys is ungrateful people. Ungrateful states. Now open our eyes like this. They sentenced to our brother to life imprisonment. Somebody that stood up for you guys. Now never say anything. The only man when he fight for your freedom. It be like saying I don't know the meaning of that fight when Mazi Kanu they fight for now. Most of you don't know the meaning because most of you rich, top businessmen, they don't let her exist. Let me tell you. Let me explain it a little. The one I know. Let's talk of Lagos State. In this Lagos State now, if Igbo man offends Yoruba, the way that they take that matter serious, that they take am serious, like say somebody never offend them like that before. Then a man stood up, say fine, make him give una freedom. Now open una eyes like this, betray that man till they sentence him to life imprisonment. Now tell me the years of Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu, men looking at him, is more than 50 years. They add to that 20 years life imprisonment. If that man come out tomorrow or he come out anytime, if he fit succeed down, if he fit escape it, still say go dey okay again. Can't be okay, can't be all right, can't be fine. You guys are so disappointed. You are wicked states, ungrateful states, hypocrite. You are a betrayer. You come out as a terrorist, bandits, Boko Haram. Are you no more than Boko Haram now? Boko Haram, a terrorist, bandits, the key. The Igbo betrayed. So what is the difference? Somebody that betrayed you can kill you. So what is the difference of Boko Haram and Igbo people? You don't know the reason why that man is fighting for you.
Now, the whole issue about Nnamdi Kanu's matter bears a lot of question and defeats a lot of logic, because a lot of people, even Nnamdi Kanu himself, had continued to say it, even rambunctiously in court, that they should show him the law with which he's being tried. Because by the time many people didn't understand, because all the people who were not privy to the charges and people who were not privy to the goings on in court were at a loss as to why would a man be charged for an offense that is not known to law in a criminal trial. Because a Nigerian statute book says that one cannot be tried for a law of an offense not codified and known to law.
Yeah.
And then
under the principle of fair
hearing,
sections 35 and 36.
Absolutely. And there is nothing like retrogressive action in law when it comes to criminal action. Yeah. We are not a military regime.
What eventually happened in the Court of Justice of Motion, could it have been avoided if the matter was handled differently?
Well, I do not know why he debriefed those lawyers. I also do not know why he decided to defend himself. But what is those are now in the realm of history or in the realm of the past. What now bothers many Nigerians was what happened on November 20th, the day he was sentenced, and the day he was convicted and eventually sentenced. And the whole issue surrounding the trial, the whole issue surrounding the conviction and the sentencing, the attitude of the court itself, whether the court followed the law or whether the court followed personal opinion of the jurists, or whether the court, in some people's opinion, acted on a script to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu is taken off the streets, in a manner of speaking. Whether Nnamdi Kanu defended himself or not, what to many people is more critical and more important is the attitude of the judge and the justice of the matter. Don't forget that in criminal adjudication, one can only be convicted when there is preponderance of evidence, one, two, and when the prosecution is able to prove the case beyond all reasonable doubt. We are not saying all iota of doubt, but at least all reasonable doubt. And that justice must not only be done, but to be seen, manifestly be seen as having been done. The generality of the public of Nigeria and even the international community do not believe that justice was done in Nnamdi Kanu's case. Don't forget that the issue of treason is a political decision by the state, because treason is an offense against the state. It has been brought to become an offense against humanity, and that is why there is an international convention against treason, and it was to be able to bring it to the level of to align Nigeria's act with that of the rest of the world, following the UN convention that brought to the repeal of Nigeria's 2011-2012 terrorism prevention Act and reenacted in 2022 with implementation in 2023 of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. Now, the whole issue about Nnamdi Kanu's matter beggars a lot of questions and defeats a lot of logic, because a lot of people, even Nnamdi Kanu himself, had continued to say it, even rambunctiously in court, that they should show him the law with which he's being tried. Because by the time many people didn't understand, because all the people who were not privy to the charges and people who were not privy to the goings on in court were at a loss as to why would a man be charged for an offense that is not known to law in a criminal trial. Because a Nigerian statute book says that one cannot be tried for a law of an offense not codified and known to law.
Yeah. And then under the principle of fair hearing, sections 35 and 36.
Absolutely. And there is nothing like retrogressive action in law when it comes to criminal action. Yeah. We are not a military regime. Now,
but Nnamdi Kanu was charged under the old law.
Under the old law.
Terrorism.
He was charged under the 2020.
No, not under 2022. Under the older law of 2011.
2013, yeah. Not 2022, 2013. That was repealed.
The old law.
The old law that was repealed in 2022.
Yeah, but so the new law will not take effect. That's why Chief Awomolo SAN is saying that the punishment is death penalty. He was quoting the old law, and that the accused person was charged under the old law. The
accused person was charged under the old law. Don't forget that that charge under the old law got extinguished in October 2022. When
but the law, you yourself just said it, cannot have retroactive effect.
We cannot have retroactive effect.
Those are issues they will resolve at the level of appeal.
No. There is one major issue that is even on the open. Okay. Because in the first instance, don't forget that Nnamdi Kanu had earlier been acquitted by the Federal High Court before federal government went to Court of Appeal. And every moment an accused is acquitted, discharged and acquitted, he goes home from the court. He can only go back to the prison or to wherever he was detained to collect his personal items. If he doesn't want, he can abandon them there. If he doesn't want, he can go from there to his house. If he doesn't want, because at the end of the day, the federal government refused to release him. So at that point of that discharge and acquittal in October of 2022, the court became functus officio. So you can no longer hold on that old law. But by the time you saw the judgment from the Judicial Court, it was referring to the 2013 charge. So that became a very, very strong issue against that judgment and against the entire procedure. There are so many other issues which time may not allow us to explain.
These are issues that can be worked out when the matter goes to the Court of Appeal. Aloy Ejimako has already said they will go on appeal. Yes, and that by Monday, tomorrow, they are going to file.
He has a whole 90 days. We think we to do so.
However,
so he can do that
to notice that Justice Omotosho even said, he was tampering justice with mercy. He was not applying the full teeth of the law. However, what do you think is the way forward? And don't you think that the matter was even complicated by the conduct of the accused person who discharged his own counsel? I mentioned the very senior lawyers who know the territory. Now, in this same case, what's his name now? Ozekome, SAN, was involved. Kanu Agabi, SAN, Paul Erokoro, SAN, Ikpe Azu, SAN. These are people who know the law, the in and out of it, who could have provided a different kind of pathway and who could have handled the matter. But we had the accused person abusing the presiding judge, and you said, oh, the presiding judge is a problem. What do you expect his lordship to have done in a situation whereby the accused person took over the proceedings of the court and questioned his integrity, questioned his... So what the judge did eventually in the 144-page judgment that I have seen is that he just applied the law. Simply.
Dr. Albert, you may say so, the judge may claim so, but the judge committed what majority of the people describe as a travesty of justice, and I tell you why.
No,
look,
he's not a mob
opinion because there are the facts are there. The judge jumped into the arena. The judge even usurped the office of the executive.
How?
I'll tell you why. It does not lie in the purview of the court to decide where a convict will be kept. The very moment you decide, you give it your judgment, you become functus officio. It is the duty of the executive to determine.
Which means that the matter has ended.
Yeah, the matter has ended.
Yeah,
so it's the duty of the for the judge to say.
That's what functus officio.
Yes, for the judge to say he has to be kept in a certain form of confinement. He's jumping into the arena. He's overreaching his office.
Was it the judge that said he must be taken to Sokoto?
The judge said so, and possibly for them to have taken him to Sokoto, they may be obeying again the order of the court, which of course is an illegal order because he has become functus officio.
No,
it is
but
not
I didn't see Sokoto prison.
It is not the duty
in that judgment.
It is not the duty of
is this stated in the judgment?
No, Dr. Abati, it's not the duty of the judge to say where he will be kept.
No, is it in the judgment?
No, it's not in the judgment.
Have you read it?
No, but he said so in the judgment that
he said it should be taken to Sokoto.
He didn't say Sokoto. He said in a special confinement. He said so. And people were asking, would he be taken to Robben Island in South Africa or Guantanamo Bay in Rhode Island in America, since they wanted him to be completely out of circulation? The judge, in his wisdom, may be thinking that keeping him in an environment where people can have access to him, that people will be coming to visit him, and of course people will be going to visit him. And now the government are now throwing him to Sokoto. What is the basis for throwing him to Sokoto? That is one. But leave that for the executive to answer. But you can query the judge for making such statement because it does not lie in his purview. Again, the injustice done against Nnamdi Kanu
was that part of the ratio? Or part of
it was part of the angst you mentioned that he insulted the judge.
No, I didn't say.
No, he said that he insulted the judge in the open court, the presiding judge, and I now ask if anybody misconducts himself in the court, is it not contempt?
No, but
contempt in the face of the court.
But that judgment
so it cannot come in any way close to issue of terrorism. If the judge felt he was insulted,
whatever the judge may have said, obita.
The same way is good. The same way President Muhammadu Buhari now converted ordinary law of thought to a criminal offense. Nnamdi Kanu insulted Buhari. Yes, it's open. He called him all sorts of names. He has the reasons for calling him also names. We criticize such calling of names because he was our president. But we have a law that says if I insult you, Dr. Abati, you take me to court. It's a civil offense. It can't be a crime that he insulted the president, and now the president now turned it to become terrorism. Now, another issue that's very important, another issue that still keeps hanging on is, if you look at all the counts, the 7 counts, a lot of them will be talking about his broadcasts. Almost about 5 of the charges talk about his broadcasts. And that is why his lawyer said, how has mere Puffy, word of mouth, amount to terrorism? You know that when you are talking about criminal issues, you are talking about the actus reus and the mens rea, the reasons and the action.
If the mind to commit,
and then the act itself, committal of that act. Where is the committal of the act, and where is the mind to commit the act? What he did was he insulted the authorities. Because he possibly felt that he was not getting what he expected from the system. So these are all the issues that will come on appeal at the end of the day.
Don't let us reopen the case. All these elementary things about criminal law, let's put them aside.
Yes.
The matter has already been determined now at this stage. What is the way forward? What do you recommend?
No, but first,
as counsel.
No, it's very simple.
Were you part of?
No, I was not part of illegal team.
So, what do you recommend?
No, it's very simple. They will go on appeal.
Yeah.
And they have to go on appeal timeously because our law
by Monday.
Our law says he has 90 days to appeal. But the legal team is up to the task, and they said they are not going to waste any time. But another thing that is important is that now that the written judgment is out, they get certified copy of the judgment and they begin to prepare sift through it, bring out all the grounds of appeal, and then go ahead and file the appeal. And that's all. That is the only way forward. And the next way forward is to appeal to Igbo to take it easy, that this injustice cannot stand. So there's no need trying to get agitated. There's no need trying to resort to self-help. There's no need trying to injure ourselves or injure the people, all in the name of getting angry. Because the law, yes, is an ass, but the same law will be utilized to right the wrongs that have been done against Nnamdi Kanu. I say this advisedly and without any fear of equivocation, that the federal government of Nigeria has not handled Mazi Kanu's matter in a judicial.
So what do you advise the Nigerian government?
The Nigerian government, if I am to advise the government, this time around, the buck now stops on the table of the CNC. The CNC has now, when he pardoned some criminals and Nigerians raised their voices, and people said, "Oh, why are you not pardoning Nnamdi Kanu?" The handlers of the federal government of the president said the matter is still in court. Today, the court has discharged the matter. Now the executive can now take over and apply the prerogative of mercy. It is completely at the discretion of Mr. President. And if I'm to advise him, I'll ask him to do so and calm frayed nerves so that we will begin to limit the challenges of insecurity we have in Nigeria.
Good day to our viewers all over the world, and welcome back to Local Journal. I don't really want to speak much on this video, but I just want to talk about the injustice against some certain tribes, especially the Igbos in Nigeria. This is not making sense at all. And even the Igbos, they are not helping themselves, because I feel like they didn't stand up enough to help Nnamdi Kanu during his trying times before he was sentenced to this life imprisonment by this Justice Omotosho. And I think going forward, the Igbos should learn from this and to ensure that they come together united to stop this whole injustices going on against them. Because if you don't come together, if you don't stand united against the forces of injustice against you, there is no way this whole thing is going to stop. It's only when you have a united voice and you're ready to come together, to put your voices together, irrespective of the perception of your leaders, that is when you achieve whatsoever you want to achieve. I know so many Igbo leaders are sabotaged, and they are the saboteurs causing this whole problem in Igbo land and ensuring that the Igbos continue to be marginalized and all of that. However, this is not going to be something that has to do about your leader, because in the face of unity, the leaders will have to succumb to the resolve of the majority. And this is just what you need to hold your leaders and ensure that the leaders you have in the southeastern part are under your grip and under your control. So this is my own opinion on this. Kindly drop what you think about this in the comment section. And if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.